I am fencing Darcy Gates at the Quebec Provincial Championships in Veteran Men's Epee. This is the top 8 bout. Darcy is very tall and got a lot of weapons he can use, so we're going to focus on getting him moving, so committing to a big attack and trying to find an action when he starts a big attack. Looked like he was starting a direct attack here, and I chose to parry him in second and then do a riposte. So right now the plan is working. It looks like he might be uncomfortable with me pushing him back there, so we're going to try the same thing and try to recreate the same point. Here, I think I was expecting a bigger commitment on his footwork, which didn't happen. I might have been a little less patient, which is why it started off being a prise de fer flush rather than a parry riposte. So maybe the adjustment here is just to be more patient and wait more patiently for a better moment to try my action. I might be a little bit close here. I think he did a feint and then I had to react quickly with the sixth. He just did a disengage to the wrist, and luckily my riposte landed on his arm. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten the double. So here I'm decided to do a switch to a counterattack type of action because going forward the last 2 times were doubles. I think here I might have seen a little bit of an opening to get to the body after a parry, but it wasn't there, and then he started his action right afterwards, and I was able to do a 6th riposte to the arm. At this point, I'm looking to pressure him again into another attack and get either the same parry riposte or maybe a counterattack this time. So here, I didn't stick to the plan. I decided to try a low line hit where I thought I had an opening. He does a preem. Luckily, I'm able to disengage and get a remise in. So that's twice in a row where I'm trying attacks where it's pretty clear it's not going to work. So this time I'm talking to myself about stick to the plan. The plan is a counterattack and wait for the right time. He clips me on the wrist just as he starts his action, so it was a nice preparation. His points on target. I might have been a touch close, but still, it's a good hit. And I'm trying a duck here, which I don't do too often. I thought it would be a good um, change and be a bigger surprise, but I'm not really enthusiastic about that type of action anymore. I'm a bit in between ideas here, so I decide just to keep a slightly bigger distance and just move around and poke around and see what becomes available. Here I try I think it was a Prise de Fer toe hit, and he was on top of that, so I got him moving, but I was in such a bad position that I couldn't capitalize on it. And here, I think we were both realized that we were too close and just lunged at each other. That was another action I considered to be in the attacking category, so I decided to switch. We're going to switch to a bit of more of a defensive or counter-attacking action. And there's 11 seconds left, and he comes out pretty aggressively, and I'm able to find a counterattack during his attack. There's about 3 seconds left in the period, so we're just going to go to time. During the break, I just told myself the last action was a counterattack, so we're going to try another counterattack and see what happens. The counterattack here, another duck, was well timed. I actually hit him flat, or like just not enough force on that hit, and a bit unfortunate, but the problem there was I didn't have a backup plan. I was just standing there waiting to get hit, so should have had something else to give myself a chance. And here I'm going back to the original game plan of the Prise de Fer with in one of his big steps. There was a double, so now it's 8-6. That's fine for me, so I'm gonna go try that again. That was slightly rushed, but I guess the timing was good enough that I could get the single. So at 9-6 now, I'm gonna try the same action. Worked twice in a row, and here I'm just extremely impatient, and Darcy, after the last 2 points, is probably just waiting for me. He thinks I'm gonna just do the same action, so he's ready to disengage and counterattack. It's a long way to his body, so I have to be way more patient in those situations. It's lots of time. There's zero risk for me here. So I was a bit more patient, but this is just poorly executed, poorly timed action. He's went for the toe, he's recovering, and so then I try Prise de Fer back to the toe, but he's on his way backwards after his recovery. So the chances of this hitting even as a double are super slim. so I should just back off and wait. I mean, I was at 9-7, so the onus is on him to like move forward and get a point. So Darcy's being super patient now, and I'm being very impatient. I'm not sure why I'm doing this. Maybe I just think I can find an opening, and at worst it's a double, but he's ready for me. And I start there with my legs. He just sticks out his arm, and it's an easy hit for him. Here, I just decide to increase the distance. That's it. I don't really think of changing the tactics. So let's increase the distance and find an opening from there. I think on this one, Darcy just broke distance and got close, and we both realized we were close and stuck out our arms really fast. I think he hit me on the wrist and I hit him on the arm, so just one of those reaction type hits. So now I finally decided, okay, I should set up a counterattack here and just wait. And then I think Darcy changes his tactics too, because he gets a bit more aggressive and he does an arm pump there, and I'm able to land a counterattack when he does the arm pump.